Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I am joined by the fabulous Marisha Wallace. How are you, Marisha?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm really good. I'm excited to have you on my channel. Obviously, it's a very, very big week for yourself. You've just got back from Blackpool doing the Royal Variety. How was that?
It was incredible. Most exciting, amazing experience to be with those artists that you've looked up to. Like I sang a duet with Sporty Spice.
Wow,
And
Melanie C.
yeah, Mel C, and to be with, I was with Gary Barlow and Steps and Sheridan Smith, and and Michael Ball. Like, it was just such a dream to be a part of something so incredible, especially in a time like this. So it was incredible. And also to sing from my album, which was amazing.
Yeah, and of course, Tomorrow is out right now, which is incredible. It's an amazing album. I love literally every single song on it because you're an absolute queen. Love your vocals. But of
Amazing.
course, you named it Tomorrow and it was recorded from home. So, where did the album come about? How did that start?
Well, I wanted to make a charity single to help theater performers, backstage people, to raise money to just help them pay their bills. That was really what I wanted to do because I knew as soon as the lockdown happened, I was like, oh my God, what are the artists going to do to pay their bills? Because, even having 2 weeks off, let alone a whole almost a year, we're going towards a year, was going to be a big, issue. So I teamed up with Mad Trust UK and Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and
Hmm.
I just did it to raise money. And then Michael Ball played it on his show. Remember that weekend where the whole internet went dark and it was like Black
Yeah.
Lives Matter had happened, everything, and it just became like an anthem of hope. And we raised so much money, and it was that's how it started, and then
Hmm.
it's had all these different lives. The song now it's been used in the U.S. Open this year
Wow.
of 2020. And then it led to me getting a record deal and this new album tomorrow, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, and with that as well comes incredible challenges, being stuck at home in lockdown. And I believe you recorded everything from home. Is that right?
Absolutely. I recorded, so right here on this couch is where I recorded the album.
Wow.
I got a mic on Amazon, and I first used a Rode mic for tomorrow, and then I upgraded a little bit to an Aston mic.
Nice.
Um, for the rest of it. And I did all the background vocals, all the choir that you hear on it is
Wow.
me. But it was an amazing experience, and also a time capsule now that I have of an album of this time in our lives when we were in lockdown. So I think it really encapsulates everything that's happened to us this year in a very beautiful way.
Absolutely. And it sure is beautiful. And another thing I've got to talk about is the fact you worked with the legendary producer, Steve Anderson, who, he's worked with icons such as Kylie Minogue. What was it like to work with him on this?
He is the first producer that's ever got me, who
Mhm.
who told me, because my voice is so big and I was always looking for a way to make it work on wax, because if you've seen me in shows before, when you
Yeah.
come, that feeling that you have when you see me live, how could we get that on wax, like in
Mhm.
a pop setting? So usually they take pop and they squish it, like they compress it. But
Yeah.
he made the production bigger so that my voice had room to do all the things that it needed to do. And he was
Hmm.
like, I'm not going to put you in a corner. I want you to be able to do everything that you can do. And it was just incredible working with him. I mean, he's so knowledgeable as well. Like, he knows what works, like, he knows what a hit sounds like. He gets, but he also still gets theater. He also still gets like live moments. And most of the songs on this album, we wanted to feel like it could be like a live moment on television or in a theater or something like that. So that's what you'll feel when you'll feel like you've gone to a show after you listen to the album.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how it makes you feel. You really go on a journey with this album, which is always really important, I think, from song to song. And of course, you've previously starred in Dreamgirls, you then moved to Waitress, you're now heading for Hairspray. Was there any kind of experiences you've learned from live stage that you were able to bring out in this album?
Oh, well, all the choir stuff, just knowing how to sing in parts, and extracting those parts and putting those parts together. Like that's from my ensemble training, like being in ensembles and singing in choirs and singing,
Hmm.
that I definitely use that there. Also, just like how we as musical theater performers story tell in a song, like how it's because like a pop song doesn't always feel like you're going on a journey in a pop song. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's a pop song, great, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I just want to feel like even though it's a pop song, that it still had a journey, like a musical theater song, a beginning, middle, and end. Like
Hmm.
in every song had a story. Like even like Divine, which is an original song. I just imagine like a man like on a boat, like out lost at sea. Like every song has kind of like a backstory in that way.
Yeah. And actually, that's a really good lead for the next question that I had. Obviously, there's so many amazing songs. It's probably really hard for you to pick one. But if you were to pick a favorite, which one would you choose?
Oh, this is hard. I love them all. I would say, oh, this is hard. Of the originals, I really love Faith
Hmm.
because it harkens back to that old school, like black woman 90s house music that I love, but
Yeah.
also has a current like feel to it. And I just love like the idea of give me faith is because we that's something that we've needed, and that's
Hmm.
something that has really got me to where I am right now is my faith and my belief, and that if you work hard that things will happen for you. So that's why I really love that song, and it's just a jam.
Yeah.
It just
We
really
love a
pump.
good bop.
Yeah, I love a bop. I love a bop.
I saw your amazing tweet the other day to somebody who was clearly having a very hard time, and I'm not going to say the name, but you spoke to her in such a beautiful way about manifesting good things to come and writing it down on a piece of paper. And I actually read that and I did the same for myself because it gives me that
Wow.
those goals and that motivation to do incredible things, such as sitting here, being able to interview you for me is a huge thing because you're incredibly talented, you're very busy, and the fact you've given me time, your time of day today is incredible. But in terms of positivity, you have a very positive outlook on life, which is why I think people absolutely love you. And for me, Before I Go is obviously an incredibly powerful and moving song. But what I'd really like to know is, where did that inspiration come from? How did that song kind of come about?
Oh, well, that is another one of my favorite songs.
Hmm.
I don't can't believe I didn't say Before I Go beforehand, but Before I Go has been out. But of the other ones you haven't heard, Faith is the other one. But Before
Yeah.
I Go, oh my God, what an amazing song that is. It was first done by Guy Sebastian, and Jamie Hartman is one of the writers of the
Hmm.
song, and he had messaged Steve Anderson and said, I have this amazing song that I think Marisha would just rock.
Yeah.
And it was Before I Go. And I remember when I got it, because it's like in a male's key.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to make this work for a
Hmm.
female? So I had to invert all the keys. I had to change all the choir parts. I had to do all like just deconstruct the whole song and put it back together. But that song, I remember when I was recording those BVs, it was like in the middle of the night.
Hmm.
It just felt like all the ancestors, like all the Black women, all who were like, who never got their chance, or who did get their chance, but it was cut short, or they
Hmm.
didn't have like their moment to shine, were like, sing it for us, do it for us, like do it
Yeah.
for us. And that's kind of that choir, the woo, like that's their voices. And it
Goosebumps,
all,
honestly.
yeah, no, it was their voices. And it was also at the same time that Breonna Taylor was going on as well.
Hmm.
And it was, and in the Black Lives Matter movement, they say, say the names, say the names, say the names. And then it made me think about like, what is in a name? Like, why is a name so important? Because it gives
Yeah.
meaning to a life. It doesn't just say, oh, this person died. No, Breonna Taylor died. That like
Hmm.
that makes it different. So that's why this song is so powerful, because it just shows you how important it is to acknowledge people, and to like not, and also to acknowledge yourself, to not give up on yourself,
Hmm.
and to keep fighting. And that you might be up against the ropes, and you might be backed in a corner, but I think I'm always best when I'm backed in the corner. I like when people
Yeah.
doubt me. I like when
Oh,
people say you can't do that, because then I come out fighting. I'm like, "Rah, I can do it," you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where that's what that song is all about. Is about, you will know my name before I go. And I feel like I've been fighting for such a long time to get my name out there and to be because I feel like I have a voice and I just want people to hear it. And so that song was just amazing. I love that song. Such a great
Yeah,
song.
it's stunning, and I'm so glad to hear that story as well. And you're right, a name is so powerful and so important, and everybody leaves their mark on life, and this song certainly does that. And Marisha, you've really built a name for yourself. It wasn't just, this one song. You've throughout lockdown, you've done Instagram live streams, you've done TikTok videos galore. You have just put yourself out there so much, which a lot of
Mhm.
people don't really know how to. So if you could give any advice to any aspiring performers or anybody out there who perhaps is finding this particular period really difficult, what would you advise them?
I would just say go for it. I feel like in our industry, we're so worried about what people think of us. We're so worried about, are they gonna think I'm too much? Are they gonna think I'm this? Are they gonna think this and this? When I put my blinders on and I just run my race, just like you see the race horses, they put their
Yeah.
blinders on. They can't see how fast the people are going left and right of them. So
Hmm.
then they can just run as fast as they can towards the goal. So I say that you have to do that. You have to just don't worry about what people are going to think. Do what's authentic to you. Do what you think is right. And once I stopped worrying about, oh, how am I going to look if I do that kind of if I'm on TikTok or whatever,
Yeah.
how am I going to look of that? But then once I put myself, it became a success because
Hmm.
so you're kind of limiting your success by worrying about what people are going to think. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, it's you're left with what you've done at the end of the day. Like, you have to go to bed with yourself at night. And so
Exactly.
I think that's so I would just say performers, especially while we wait to get back on stage, this is the way that we perform now. This is the way we can get our own narrative out there because, when you're on stage, you're playing a role, but when you are putting your own things out there, you get to play yourself, which is so cool and get to do some fun things. So I'm excited about what's all coming next and,
Yeah.
just keep creating and keep using your craft.
Absolutely, and I always like to say, always be happy to be yourself. That's something that I always say to people when they ask me, "Oh, Perry, how did you start vlogging?" I'm like, honestly, I do it for the love, not for the followers, not for the views, not for the likes. I do it for the love, and the more you pour your passion into it, the more people see you. And I've never done it to do that. I just did it to make people smile, which is what your music does. It's why I
Yeah.
always come and see your shows. Me and my friend Anna, we watched your live concert during lockdown, which was phenomenal, considering it was just you in your kitchen, living your best life. It was incredible. But one thing I'm really curious about, because I know you're a big lover of lots of other artists, but if you could collaborate with anyone in the world, who would it be and why?
Right now, I would say, ooh, this is hard. Celine Dion.
Oh,
If
Queen.
I could do a duet with Celine Dion, I would die. I mean, I'd love to do a duet with Mariah, but Celine Dion's voice is still on point, and
Hmm.
I really want to do one with Celine Dion. It would be amazing.
Yeah, I think manifest this again, Marisha, as you say,
I
and I'm
manifested
sure it will
it.
happen one
Just
day.
write it down,
Absolutely.
and it's
Of course,
there.
she's due to come to London next year, hopefully, with the postponed tours. So hopefully,
Maybe I'll
both
be her
can,
support
hang
act. That would be
out. Yeah, we'd love to see that.
good.
Another person you've been hanging out with is the incredibly talented Mr. Michael Ball. And obviously, you've both got Hairspray coming up together in the summer of next year, which is really, really exciting. But obviously, he's given you quite a lot of support as well with his radio show. But with regards to Hairspray, what's it been like to kind of get in the rehearsal room with him? Because that must be incredible.
Well, we've only been in one rehearsal room because I didn't go to any of the Hairspray rehearsals because I was sick with coronavirus
Oh
at
gosh.
the lockdown. So
Mm.
we didn't get back together till later in the summer, like for Britain's Got Talent. So
Yeah.
we got to rehearse together for that. But then also he is on my album. He's has a duet with me called Show Must Go On, and I got to vocal produce Michael Ball. So I'm like in the studio being like, Michael, can you try it like this? Da,
Oh
da,
wow.
da. Like, but can you do it like that? And he was so amazing. Like it was, I was just like, and he just like listened to everything I said, and we got to create it together. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like vocal producing Michael Ball right now for this album, which
Wow.
is so cool. And I just love him. I just actually saw him yesterday.
Hmm.
He just been such a huge support, and he doesn't have to be to
Yeah.
me. And he just believes in me, and he's like, I want the best for you because you deserve all of it. And I
Yeah.
think it's so beautiful because he didn't have to do it, but he does because he
Hmm.
believes.
He's really kind as well. Like I covered Chess the press night, and he was just so warm towards me. Considering I was probably the youngest, press person there, doing something a bit different with the vlogging camera, and we had met a few times previously before that, and I was very surprised to realise that he had acknowledged me and realised that it was me again. And that was so lovely that he's so open and so supportive. That's incredible. We've
That's
also,
what the legends always are like that. That's why they
yeah.
work all the time.
Exactly, precisely. And of course, we've got to talk about your Christmas album, Soul Holiday, from last year as
Oh,
well.
so
'Tis
holiday.
the season. What is your favorite
Hi.
Christmas song and why?
Oh, I love Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. That's like my favorite one to sing as well
Yeah.
because it's just so beautiful and it's like just telling you to like be light, enjoy yourself, like no matter what's happened to you this year, just go into this festive season with gratitude and thankfulness that you're even alive. Like
Hmm.
that's what I just love about that song. And Soul Holiday was my first album I ever created, and I financed it and produced it and did
Wow.
the whole thing myself, self-released it myself. And to go from that to having Universal, one of the
Hmm.
biggest record
Huge.
labels in the world now. It's just every time I listen to that album, I cry because I just think about the journey of me investing in myself and, just believing in myself and just putting myself out there. And I always said, if I don't invest in myself, why would I expect anyone else to? And then the investment got a return this year. So I'm so excited for that song every year that it comes around. And people just love the album. And I hope more people discover it this year too, which will be exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. They're here tomorrow and they'll be like, right, what else has
Yeah.
she got out? Oh, Christmas, perfect. Two for one. Get them both. Why not? And then of course, talking about Christmas, you're featured in Jingle Jangle, which has been one of the biggest films already on
Uh,
Netflix. How was that for you?
Jingle Jangle is literally like such the biggest surprise because I was up to play Mrs. Johnston.
Hmm.
I didn't get the part. Um, they said I was, I looked too cute to play
Oh,
opposite of Whitaker. I was like, fair, that's fine. But you don't get the part. Things
yeah.
happen, you don't get the part, whatever. So you just go on about your day. And then I got a DM from the director's wife on
Wow.
Instagram, and she was like, "We love you. We like." She was like, we hate that, look wise it doesn't work, but will you be a part of the music department and help us create the music for the movie? Because we love your voice." And I was like, okay, why not? And some people would have probably said, "No, you didn't pick me. Why would I?" And why?
Yeah.
But I always believe what is for me,
Hmm.
what God has for me is for me, and what is for them is for them. And it was for Lisa to play the role, and it was
Yeah.
definitely for me to sing it because I got to work with John Legend and
Wow.
Philip Lawrence, who is like Bruno Mars. He wrote all the songs for Bruno
Incredible.
Mars, and he's like in the Bruno Mars band. Like that
Yeah.
was he wrote the song, and I worked with Harvey Mason Jr. vocal
Wow.
producing on it. Who he's the CEO of the Grammys,
Hmm.
and it was just amazing. And to work with Netflix and with David Talbert. So David and I were in the studio, like just playing. So I'd be like, well, how would I do it like this? Or how would I do it like that?
Yeah.
Um, and I'd be like, do it like this and do that and do this. And so I got to help create this magical little song. And then I thought for sure, okay, they're gonna replace me with like Patti LaBelle or something because like on this album we have like Usher and Ricky Martin and Amika
Wow.
Rose and like I was like, for sure they'll just replace me with someone else, whatever. But then at the top of the pandemic, they called me and they were like, we're definitely keeping you on the album. You're gonna be on the album with Usher and da da da. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And
Wow.
I went back in to do some more like fixes and stuff.
Hmm.
Because you just never know how it's gonna go with music.
Yeah,
You never know. And they were like, no, John Legend loves you, loves your voice, blah blah. And then it came out, and it's been like that was like 2 years ago that I first recorded it, and then now
wow.
it's out, which
Incredible.
is
And you say that, but there is only one Marisha Wallace in this world, and that's you,
yeah.
Marisha. So, every open door is an opportunity, and you've run for those opportunities, which is incredible. You've also got something coming up with Netflix, which I know you probably can't talk about, but you've
I
been
can't
recording
say it,
this
but
week,
it's
haven't you?
really, really good. Yes, I have a really juicy role in a new TV show for Netflix, so it's gonna be really cool. So it'll be out probably next year sometime. Hopefully they'll
Amazing.
announce it soon, but it's with it's with some amazing stars, so I'm excited.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, on that note, I guess we have to wait till tomorrow for that news.
Tomorrow.
But the album is out everywhere, available to stream and download. So please go out and support it. Thank you so much, Marisha, for joining me on my channel. I really appreciate it. Lovely to
Thank
see you.
you.
Can't wait to reunite when we get through this, which will be hopefully very
Woo!
soon. And yeah, wishing you all of the best. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.